Hey everyone, welcome to Home Matters, the podcast where we help you make the most informed decisions for your home renovation and improvement projects. Whether you're swapping out windows, tackling a kitchen makeover, or getting a new roof, we've got the tips, the tricks, and the insights that you need. So let's get into today's topic. There is no doubt that having a quality roof is important to your safety, for you, for your family, for your neighbors. And not only that, it holds the value to your home when you are ready to resell it, but also it provides you a better quality of life, right? For so many reasons. I mean, if you just start with the fact that the roof is going to be the one of the first things that keep you safe, safe from weather, things that are flying around. And if you don't have a good roof, maybe you have a leak, all those things just lead to less safety and not a good quality of life, let's say. So I would definitely say top 5 projects to do in the home. If you're buying a home, if you're selling a home, is going to be the roof, right? Top 5 things to look at and worry about. And not even so much from an aesthetic point of view, but just from a practicality and an essential part of any home is the roof. All right. So today we're just going to talk to you about, why it matters, the types of roofing materials like asphalt, metal, wood, shingles. We're going to talk some labor costs, what you should expect to pay. It is so different across the country and depending on the type of home. Seasonal considerations, as we always talk about here on the podcast. We'll talk permits, regulation, and lifespan, which you can expect from different types of roofs. Okay. So let's get started. Why it's more important than just shingles and nails? Well, the roof is your home's first line of defense against the elements. So you really need to understand the role and the importance in your home safety. So if you're living in the East Coast, you have hurricanes, you have weather, lots of rain, different things that can happen to your home. And if you don't have a good roof, you will experience things that are not pleasant, right? So that's first and foremost. And you've seen those pictures of post hurricane events where 3, 4, 5 homes, their roofs have been ripped off, and then you have that one home where the roof is intact. And sometimes it's not even the age of the roof; it's just the fact that the homeowner chose the right material, chose the right contractors, made sure that again it wasn't just nails and shingles put on, but it was the base of it and how it was fastened. They went through the right permitting process, they got the right warranty. All those things matter, right? And I think homeowners right now are experiencing some of the issues with these different weather situations that have happened. Obviously, hurricanes being one of them, but you have other things like floods, earthquakes. You have fires all across the country, right? And so looking at the different materials is really, really important. And then also having that conversation with your insurance company. So my folks recently did a roof replacement. They used to have a tile roof for more than 20 years. And then they decided to replace it with a metal roof. Now, there were many considerations for the type of material there, right? Do we do metal? Do we do wood? Do we do tile or shingles? They knew they didn't want shingles. They knew they didn't want tile anymore. And wood was not going to be as durable in the long term. But the metal did a couple of things. Aesthetically, it made the home look a little bit more modern. And one of the things that they were worried about wasn't durability. Durability all day, the metal is going to survive more than any other material, right? In a big storm in the South. But what they were worried about and had heard from other people with metal roofs is that there may be an issue with the noise, that when it's raining, you can hear the droplets. And, basically they found out that there was not so much truth to that, because at the end of the day, it's the materials and the soundproofing that is put into there. If you get the right thickness of the plywood when they lay it down, and if it's installed properly, then that's not an issue. But of course, there's a pros and cons list to each one. Like obviously a metal roof costs a lot more, so that's definitely a con. But on the pro side, it's the type of roof that is going to last the longest here. And it's also more energy efficient. So that goes hand in hand with some of the things we talked about in the last episode about, Energy Star and being, energy efficient, which we all want, and especially if you live in the South. But also in the north. If you live in the Northeast and it's very cold and you have these big storms, having a roof that's going to keep you better insulated is no doubt a good thing, right? So those are some of the factors, but of course, aesthetic came into play as well. If you see that in your neighborhood there are no metal roofs, and you're the first one to put it there, it may actually look out of place. But then again, it's up to you. And then, of course, when you think of resale value, is it the architecture of the neighborhood, right? So if you go down to, let's say, Miami or Key West, you're going to see a lot of homes in the Miami area that have tile roofs because that's the facade of the neighborhood, the architecture in Coral Gables. Or if you go to Key West, you're going to see a lot of wood roofs, right? And so when you are investing in a home, whether you're buying new or upgrading your current roof on your current home, these are things that you definitely have to look at, because if you put up a new roof, and disregard the architecture and feel of the neighborhood, and you make it too modern, this may backfire for you down the road, right? Although I would argue, or anybody could argue at this point, with the way the real estate market has been over the last 12, 13 years, ever since the last recession, real estate pretty much across the country, and especially in those big markets like Miami, Phoenix, and pretty much any big city, right? Real estate costs have soared. And I think then homeowners have gotten away with the fact that, hey, I can do whatever I want to my home while I'm living here. I want to make it mine. I want to personalize it my way. And when I sell it, guess what? I'm not worried about it because the demand is so much higher than what the inventory is for supply, right? So that's definitely something to look at. But if there's an adjustment in the market where you have more inventory and less demand, then the prices go down, and then things like that actually do matter, right? Now, labor costs, it's really hard to pinpoint the cost of labor for roofing across the country. It's different in every area, and the materials are significant in price per square foot or linear foot in the case of some materials. So, but the cost of your roof is more made up by labor than it is the material as far as overall. We talk about it here on the podcast that sometimes the cost is split three ways, right? You've got the labor costing 1/3 to 50%. You've got material costing 1/3. And then you've got the remainder, which is the profit for the company making or installing that product for you, right? The company is in business to make money, so they're going to make their margins of anywhere between 30 or 40%. Just really depends on the company. Is it a small mom and pop shop, or is this a large roofing company with regional offices? You're going to see that those sometimes are going to actually cost more than the local guy who has a crew of 3, right? So things to consider. But price per square foot in different types of roofing it really ranges. I mean, you can go from paying, a few $100s per square foot to, as much as $500 per square foot. So it really depends. And we're gonna add some of those cost considerations using some calculators that we use with some of the contractors that we have worked with, so that you can get an idea, because it is very complex from one product to another. But generally speaking, if you take a home that's about 2,000 square feet today, a shingle roof is going to cost you somewhere between 20 and 25,000. But if I give you the example of a metal roof, which, as I said, my folks just replaced theirs, a metal roof for a 3,500 square foot home in the South is going to cost you around $100,000. So $100,000 is a lot of money, but on the other hand, the amount of money that they would save on homeowners insurance is substantial enough. And so the added value to the home and the safety and everything else is absolutely worth it. And of course, if the home is a home where the value is 2 million, 3 million, then $100,000 for a roof isn't that much. Now, if you take an average single family home that costs about 400,000, yeah, you're probably looking to spend no more than 10% of the total value of that home on the roof, right? So in the case of a tile roof, you don't want to exceed $40,000 on a $400,000 home. All that being said, it always comes down to a personal budget, what you have to spend. And if aesthetics and a particular brand of roof matter to you, you're not going to look at that 10% or 5% expense relative to the total value of the home, right? And so again, it's not a one size fits all for that reason, because you could have two homes in the same neighborhood right next to each other, similar size and everything, and one roof can cost 50 and another roof can cost 100. So a lot of considerations, right? As far as seasonal consideration, timing is definitely everything when it comes to roofing projects, especially in the South where it rains quite a bit, or in the Southwest, out in the Phoenix area, Las Vegas, and even in Texas, where you have temperatures of above 100 degrees throughout the summer. Not such a good time to do your roofing projects, although projects don't stop. But these are things that are drawbacks when installing a new roof in different seasons. Or if you look in the Northeast, where you have really heavy snow in the months of like November, December, January, very hard to start a roofing project during those months, knowing that there are other months that are more suitable for you to consider when doing a roofing project. And then, of course, you worry about the permits and regulations. This is not like just changing out a floor or painting your home or remodeling a bathroom, where the considerations are few. With safety, if you're remodeling a bathroom, you're thinking of, okay, I need to have the right plumber, right electrician, but you may not be required to take out a permit, right? Whereas with a roof, everywhere you go around the country, you're going to need to obtain the proper permit, because and if you don't, quite frankly, you stand to lose quite a bit, because if you don't take out a permit when you're doing a new roof, you may not know if the contractor is going to be around, or if the contractor is even insured. So these are things to ask for. We'll talk about it time and time again here on the podcast. But when you hire a company, they come to your house, even if they're all over TV and radio and internet with ads, that's fine if they already have a good reputation, but still require and request that they give you a copy of their insurance, a copy of their business license, and then of course who works for them. Because if you have subcontractors that are not supposed to be working, they're not in the insurance policy, and let's say a roofing project can be very dangerous. They're on the roof, they fall, they get injured, and let's say they weren't working for the company because they're a subcontractor of a sub of a sub, and then decide that they're going to sue you. Guess what? You have waived all your rights. So make sure, especially with a roofing project, and this is like the biggest takeaway I can give you here based on my experience in construction for more than a decade, make sure that you have the names of every single employee or staff member who's going to be working on your roof. Make sure that you know that they're employed by the company. And if they're a subcontractor, it's okay, but you need to make sure that that subcontractor is going to sign a waiver, right? And show you that they either have the liability insurance, or they're going to add your home, your address to their liability insurance. You have to make sure. You can't just have people who are not insured working on your roof. This is something that in a worst case scenario, someone dies on your roof, they fall off the roof and their family sues you for wrongful death. This could wipe you out. You could go bankrupt, right? From doing a project that, let's say, was a shingle roof that's going to cost you $25,000, and now you didn't do your due diligence. Someone gets severely injured on your roof, or worse, they die. Guess what? Their family is coming after you. There's attorneys that are coming after you. And because you didn't do your due diligence, you didn't know that they actually didn't work for the company that sold you the material and the labor. These are things that you have to worry about. And then two last things to consider when replacing a roof is the lifespan of different materials, right? So it's kind of often overlooked because people just feel like, oh, it's all going to last 20 or 15, 20 years. But that's not true, right? There's composite materials out there that can actually be a very long-term investment. So look at those considerations. Different manufacturers have different warranties, so you definitely want to inspect those. And one of the things that I really recommend with big projects like roofing and windows is that you ask the contractor to give you the names of previous clients that they worked on a year ago or recently, but also clients that they did 5-10 years ago. Talk to them, call those people and say, hey, this company did work for you. How did it go? Is the roof still standing up? Right? Are you still getting a discount with the insurance? These are questions. These are very normal. You as a homeowner, you would do it for another homeowner. So this is not a question that is so out of line, right? It's not like you're asking for just a testimonial or review, but you're trying to do due diligence because after all, a roof is an investment. It's a big probably one of the biggest investments you'll ever make in your home, and it does come down to safety. So don't leave anything out when it comes to doing your homework, and talking to the company's previous customers is a key to having a good a project go really smooth during that whole process, right? And the last thing to look for is, like, once you do the inspection, in the coming months in the year, you want to ask if they're going to come back and do an inspection a year later to spot any early damage, right? So it's just these are little things that can help you uncover early signs of damage, that maybe you had a storm that following year. So you want to ask that question to the contractor, which is, hey, I choose you. You come, you do the job. We're happy. Everybody's happy. But a year from now, will you come back and maintain it for me? Meaning, will you come back and, spend a few hours to make sure that everything is intact? There are no fasteners that came apart, because, unlike other parts of your home, inside or on the grounds outside, you can see it with your eyes. A roof, you just don't see, right? Unless you're the type of person who gets on top of your roof, which most people don't. You don't really know, is it really standing up? And that is about like the only thing in a home where you can't actually see the if there are early signs of damage. So definitely take a look at that. And we hope that today's episode was, helpful for you in terms of if you're looking to replace your roof. As I said, when it comes to pricing and materials, it can take you months to do the research. And we'd recommend that if you're looking for resources, go to the localcontractor.co website. We have lots of blogs and content and guides that you can use to help you choose the right contractor for your next roofing job. Thanks for tuning in to the Home Matters podcast. Remember, a great home starts with making smart choices. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on a new episode. For more resources or to get in touch with a trusted local contractor, check out localcontractor.co. Until next time, take care and happy renovating.